I was locking up late when I noticed him again, the same man curled beside the dumpster behind our office. Everyone else ignored him. But for 4 months now, I'd quietly left food, water, and old clothes near his spot. Never said a word. Never asked his name. Just tried to be human. That night, as I placed a sandwich and walked away, I heard his voice for the first time. "Sir." I turned. His voice shook, raspy, like someone unused to being heard. "Tomorrow, don't come in early. Let someone else open the office. Just not you. Come in late. Please. It's life or death. Believe me." I stared at him. He wasn't begging. He looked terrified and certain. Before I could ask anything, he turned away and disappeared into the shadows. I didn't sleep that night. I told my assistant I'd be in late, just in case. That morning I sat in my car, parked down the street, heart pounding. I watched Martha, the building's janitor, unlock the door and step inside like usual. 5 minutes later, the windows shattered. Smoke. Screaming. A blast so loud it knocked birds from the power lines. My hands were shaking as I opened the door and ran forward. The office I'd built from scratch was now a burning ruin. And as the crowd formed, someone tapped my shoulder. I turned around, and the homeless man was standing behind me. "Come with me," he said calmly, as if the office behind us wasn't still engulfed in flames. I stared at him, gray beard, sun-damaged skin, tattered coat, and yet his eyes, sharp, clear, watching everything, everyone, including me. "What happened?" I asked. He didn't answer right away. Just started walking. I hesitated, then followed. We turned the corner, down an alley, away from the noise, away from the sirens. He pulled a folded paper from his coat and handed it to me. It was a blueprint. My office floor plan. With one section marked in red, the server room. Below it, scribbled coordinates and 2 words. Primary target. "Why?" I asked, my throat dry. He finally looked at me. "Because you weren't supposed to be the one feeding me. Someone else was. But you showed kindness. And that changed everything." Before I could ask what he meant, he pointed at the blueprint. "They wanted you in there. The people who hired me. Corporate sabotage. You were in the way. Your data, your startup, it threatened someone." My stomach dropped. "Who?" I whispered. He folded the paper again and stepped back. "Wait one more day. Tomorrow they'll think you're dead. They'll show their faces." I stood frozen, heart racing. And then he said it. "My name is Gabriel. And I wasn't always homeless." That night I didn't sleep. I sat on the floor of my apartment, Gabriel's blueprint laid out in front of me, my laptop open, fingers trembling as I retraced every deal, every investor call, every partnership we'd signed in the past 6 months. Only one name kept flashing in my mind, OrionX. We had undercut them in a massive government tech contract 3 weeks ago. Publicly they congratulated us. Privately, I remembered a handshake that felt too tight, and a smile that didn't reach the eyes. The next morning I walked into the office ruins. Charred walls. Blackened servers. A broken sprinkler pipe still dripping. My assistant rushed over, teary-eyed. "Aiden," they said, "it was electrical. Random." I nodded slowly, scanning the faces of the executives standing around. 2 of them I didn't even recognize. Men in tailored suits. Not part of my company. But they looked calm. Too calm. I left without a word. Back at home, Gabriel was already waiting inside. I didn't even ask how he got in. "You have 2 moles?" he said. I froze. "One is inside your company. The other is the one you trust the most. That's why I asked you to wait. Because when they think you're gone, they'll reach out." I swallowed hard. "Reach out how?" He looked at my phone. "Check your messages." My hands shook as I opened it. The notification pinged like a bullet. I tapped the screen. One unread message. It wasn't from a number I didn't know. It was from my godfather, Leonard Barris. The man who held me when I was baptized. The same man who gave the speech at my high school graduation. The one who helped me get my first seed investor. "Leonard, you weren't supposed to be there today, Aiden. I told them you'd listen to Gabriel. But you walked in anyway. I had no choice but to accelerate things." I stared. No breath in my lungs. No thought in my head. Accelerate what? And why did he know Gabriel? I showed Gabriel the message. He read it once. No reaction. "I told you," he said. "He's the second mole. The one you loved too much to suspect." But why? Why would Leonard sabotage me? Gabriel opened a folder he had kept tucked under his arm. Inside were photos. Receipts. Emails. Legal docs. He's in deep with OrionX. His name isn't on paper, but the money trail leads right to him. He handed me one last envelope. Tomorrow morning he's hosting a private gala. You've been removed from the list. I looked down at the invitation he placed in my hand. It wasn't addressed to me. It was addressed to Gabriel. Gabriel adjusted his cufflinks and glanced at me. You still want to know the truth? He asked. I nodded, barely holding myself together. We arrived at the Blackridge estate just past 8 p.m. The gala was in full swing. Tuxedos, champagne, politicians, executives. The kind of crowd that didn't just own companies, they owned countries. Gabriel walked through the security gate. His name was on the list. Mine wasn't. But I wasn't planning to go through the front door. I circled the hedge wall, past the staff entrance and slipped in through the caterer's access. Black tie, silver tray, borrowed name tag. Just like Gabriel had planned. I entered the ballroom from the side as Gabriel took the stage. And there he was, Leonard, standing in the front row, laughing, toasting. Gabriel tapped the mic once. The crowd fell silent. I'd like to thank my mentor tonight, a man who taught me how power works. Mr. Leonard Barris. Leonard grinned, until the projector behind Gabriel flickered on. Emails. Transactions. Footage. Documents. One by one they painted the story of Orion X's illegal surveillance deals, and Leonard's signature was hidden in the shell corporations funding it. He turned pale. The room gasped. And then Gabriel said it. But Leonard wasn't working alone. He had help. From someone in this room. Everyone turned. Gabriel looked right at me. My stomach turned. For a moment I thought Gabriel had betrayed me. But then, I saw the subtle nod he gave me, the cue. I stepped forward, took the mic and looked straight into Leonard's eyes. My name is Aidan Cole. 4 months ago, I found a dying man in the alley behind my firm's office. He was homeless, starving, but he was once a tech analyst. And he had been blacklisted. The crowd murmured. He told me things. Showed me receipts. Patterns. Shell companies. And when I took it to our firm's leadership, I was fired within 48 hours. Branded a threat to security. I paused. Leonard Barris wasn't just orchestrating corporate espionage. He was stealing identities. Selling data of private citizens to foreign bidders. Gasps rippled through the crowd. And one of those citizens was my sister. Her photo appeared behind me, young, vibrant, smiling. Gone too soon. One of Orion X's leaked profiles. Targeted. Trail. Disposed of. I turned to Leonard, who was now trembling. She died because of your silence. Suddenly, a commotion at the door. 2 federal agents walked in, flashing badges. Leonard Barris, you are under arrest for conspiracy, fraud, and negligent manslaughter. As they handcuffed him, the crowd erupted, some in shock, some in applause. Gabriel stood beside me. We did it, I whispered. But then he leaned close and said, no, we started it. Gabriel stared at the screen. His hand trembled, jaw tightening. I leaned in to see it. A text. No name. Just a number. But the message said. He wasn't the only one. They know about Prague. Get out. Now. Gabriel's eyes slowly met mine, and I saw something in them I hadn't seen before. Fear. Real soul-deep fear. What's in Prague? I asked quietly. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he pulled me away from the press conference chaos and into the stairwell. You remember the ransomware case from 5 years ago? The one no one could solve. I nodded. That wasn't random. That was a test run. For something much bigger. A trial, by a group inside Orion X. And I helped design the code. My stomach dropped. You what? I thought it was harmless back then. Just code. Nothing real. I didn't know they'd weaponize it. Suddenly, alarms blared in the building. Gabriel's voice dropped lower. I came to you because you were the only one who could expose Leonard without implicating me. But now, I think they're coming for both of us. We rushed down the stairs. My phone rang, it was an anonymous number. I picked up and the voice on the other end was calm, too calm. Mr. Cole, if you want to keep your sister's name off the next obituary list, hand over Gabriel. Alone. No police. Gabriel sat slumped in the passenger seat of my car, eyes flicking between me and the road ahead. The city glowed in shards of blue and gold through the windshield, but inside the car was silence. That's suffocating. Are you going to hand me over? He finally asked. I didn't answer. I was too focused on the envelope in my lap. Inside were the final pages of Michael's file, decrypted. My sister's name wasn't just in it. She was listed under approved assets, part of a deal Leonard struck with Orion X's offshore front to protect himself. Gabriel's leverage was real. And personal. I pulled into an empty parking garage beneath a vacant law office I sometimes used when I needed off-the-grid space. I'm giving you one chance, Gabriel. You either help me burn them to the ground, or I take everything to the FBI myself. He swallowed. If you do that, you'll be marked. Just like Michael. I'm already marked. We plugged in the flash drive and began transmitting everything to a secure journalist contact. Someone Michael trusted. Every shred of evidence. Every contract. Every surveillance tap. As the upload bar inched forward, my phone buzzed. A known caller. I answered. A woman's voice this time. We warned you. Then a loud crack. Gunshot. A scream? My blood ran cold. But it wasn't on my end. It was Gabriel's. He was holding his side. Blood poured through his shirt. I grabbed him as he collapsed, the flash drive still glowing red. Finish it, he gasped. I did. The next morning, every major news outlet in the country was running the story. Fraud. Conspiracy. Embezzlement. The name Leonard Voss was everywhere. Arrest warrants. Subpoenas. The empire fell before noon. At Gabriel's quiet funeral, I stood beside the casket, and a man approached me. I was his brother, he said softly. You saved more lives than you'll ever know. I nodded, then slipped him something, the final decrypted file Gabriel had left, a list of the others. I'm done, I said. Your turn now. Your turn now.